Jarky Grow?
Hello, Rose8767 here. I'm here to tell you the story of what happened to our lovely Sixam household after they beat Sixam. So obviously you can see here from our little playback that wow, I'm still calling her Willow. Holly Billows and Xavier Reese got romantically involved. They had their first kiss, they became boyfriend and girlfriend, and all is well and ends well for them so far. Next up are our heroes, Waverly Reese and Seth Gleason, who also got romantically involved, and they also had their first kiss, and they didn't rush to get married or engaged. They decided to take it slow, where Holly and Reese were kind of rushed it a little, as you'll see in the next bit. And Xavier, wow, I can say his name, I swear, got romantically involved very, very fast. In fact, he even proposed to her on the first night that they built the new house. They built the new house, by the way. I forgot to mention this. So they tore down the old asylum and used every brick and everything in it to build a new house for themselves, for their future. The other people in the household actually moved out and found places of their own, which we will go over in part 3. As I'm trying to tell, there's a lot to tell with these 4 characters in part 2. But they got engaged, and immediately right after, they decided to try for a baby. So they went up to the old bedroom, and instead of having their woohoo in the bed, they decided to do it in the closet. And then, immediately, Willow went, wow, I still am doing it. Holly Billows went to try for a baby, went to take her pregnancy test, and indeed, she was pregnant with eating for 2. She immediately went to tell Reese, who then decided that it was time to get married tomorrow. However, that night, Seth Gleason, unfortunately, was abducted by aliens, and we thought we were done with them, but he was abducted and was impregnated. Thankfully, we aborted the baby. And then the following morning, Holly Billows and Seth Gleason got married and became Seth Gleason, I'm sorry, Xavier Reese. Xavier Reese and Holly Billows got married and became Holly Reese and Mr. and Mrs. Holly and Xavier Reese. The wedding ceremony was beautiful, as they had rented out a hotel lobby for this occasion. And they had invited all of their friends from the asylum and then some. The ceremony was absolutely beautiful, and Seth actually was kind of a little bit of a party pooper, and as you'll see in a little bit, liked to get into the shot. He really liked to get into the shot. He just couldn't stay out of the way of the cameraman. Thanks, Seth. You're so much talking for it. You like that attention, apparently. See, even when he moved, he didn't move far away. Anyway, so then the couple cut their. Unfortunately, the cook wouldn't cook for us that day, so Seth had to make his own cake because he wouldn't cook until later. So Xavier made a cake and he cut it himself, and he went ahead and shared the cake with his beautiful bride. Beautiful bride got a piece of the cake. Sharing the cake is probably my favorite interaction in Sims. Then the following week, Seth Gleason, and I really mean Seth Gleason this time, and Waverly Reese, I can remember her name for a second now, went out to dinner at a more Asian style more Asian Indian very, very Asian style restaurant. Probably I want to say Indian style or Mongolia. What's that food that everybody likes now that's Asian? Thai, a very Thai style restaurant. They went to a very Thai style restaurant. They had their Thai food, and they had their wine. Well, actually, I think he had a mixed drink and she had wine. Or nectar in The Sims. And they, yeah, see, as you can see, his food was very spicy because it was, Thai food. And they enjoyed their little night out together. You know, a romantic evening for two. You know, and just casually chatting and whining and dining. And just a wonderful evening for the both of them. It was later that Seth then decided it was time to make things official. And then Bride Hannah showed up. But, don't worry, we take care of her later. But basically, he proposed to Waverly at this restaurant, you know, right as Bride Hannah decided to awkwardly show up. So as they kissed, and they were officially engaged. And then Bride Hannah was causing trouble inside of causing shit was going down inside of the restaurant. But don't worry, we deleted Bride Hannah. And then they found a bush right outside the restaurant that they could woohoo in, and they decided that they didn't want to wait until they were married. It had taken far too long for all this to happen. They had been silent for such a long time that they wanted a kid. They wanted a happiness. So they went ahead and woohooed in that bush. And they got pregnant together. Maybe. Yes, actually, they did get pregnant together. So a little shaken up from the Bride Hannah, we got home, and we really found out she was indeed pregnant with her husband's-to-be's child. Unlike, she went ahead and told him, and unlike her brother and his mistress, they decided to wait until the spring to get married. So they're going to be engaged for quite a bit. Holly was already starting to show signs of pregnancy as she woke up in the middle of the night, decided to head outside where her husband couldn't see her weakness of having to puke. Well, sorry, not the middle of the night, she was napping, but she went to go ahead and puke in a bush instead of showing it, instead of where everybody can see it. Xavier has decided to become a social media type person. So on the side of him having a social media career, he decided to basically make a YouTube channel. So Holly was working on becoming a famous chef, as now celebrities have entered the world of their world, and she's working on her way to becoming a famous chef. She wants nothing more than to be a 5-star chef, as that has always been a dream even before she was in the asylum, and she's doing really good on getting there. She's really got a cooking level 6, gourmet cooking level 3, and she's at a level 5 of her current career as a chef. She's doing really good on getting there, and maybe someday she'll be a 5-star chef. Seth wants nothing more than to be a top-notch programmer. He's working on becoming... He's hacking right now, as he wants to be, but he wants to be a top-notch programmer in the tech guru career. So he's currently working on hacking at the moment, but he has nothing more important on his mind than being a programmer and getting to the level 10 of the programming skill and level 10 of the tech guru career under the programming branch. Waverly's goals are a little more complicated, so in case you don't recognize this lot, if you haven't get to famous yet, she is currently cloud gazing outside of the Plum Bob Studios, basically a lot that I think it's what's called Plum Bob Studios. So she's outside Plum Bob Studios, co-horsing with an extra. You know, before she has to do her daily routine. And I'm just gonna show a little of that. She does things daily like getting hair and makeup done, and here she is getting her hair due for the shoot that she is doing. Currently she's doing a commercial, so she's getting hair and makeup for said commercial. I've already had her do a couple of auditions, so this is probably her third audition. And she's already the skill level of actress, which is level 3 of the actress career. I would have showed the finished product for the hair, but it took a little bit to load, so it's going to be the finished product shown here when she goes to get her There we go. See, there's the finished product. It took a little bit for that to load, so didn't really get to show it when she was in the seating chair. Fortunately, I noticed that is a thing that happens sometimes with the outfits, that they take a little bit to load, especially if you have an older save file and have a very crowded save file like I do, who doesn't let people get cold, and as much as, because I don't want my ghosts cold, and I don't let the Sims get cold either, and blah blah blah. So my save files tends to get a little crowded. But she's currently, I don't know why she's being so slow though. It was a little laggy today. It's usually not this laggy at the lot for me, but it was a little laggy today. But she's talking to the person right now. I think she had to do on her list was also tell a story, which she did to the girl first girl I met. Say something funny or something like that, and compliment somebody. And now we're going to go ahead and get an outfit. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the angles right at first, so I kept kind of going into the mirror, so that unfortunately sucked. But, yeah, she's just basically getting her wardrobe for the show, and I will show the finished product in a second. So here we have it, our pirate look, our pirate stage, and we really is about to do her salty suds commercial for the pirate brand. So here we have it. She is doing really good at this job, I would say. I would note that yeah, she is like level 3 right now, so there's a lot more levels to go. And I will note, I mean, you'll probably see this with other people in Get to Famous, but it's not like, Get to Famous acting career is not like Get to Work, or any other job. You don't go to work every single day, pretty much. You have to get an audition, and then get it, and then you have to get an audition, ace the audition, and then go to work. And it's not every day. It takes a couple of days to actually go to the work event, but so it took me a couple of days to actually shoot this because I was working on other things. But there we go. Yeah, so now she's done the steering wheel thing. She's advertising the product, which actually took there was a lot of lag with this advertisement, so I'm gonna skip over it. But yeah, you pretty much got the gist of what her life is going on. And soon after that, the glorious first child or first children were born. So, wow, I'm forgetting her name already. Holly Billows, or Holly Reese now, had her first 2 children, which we appropriately named Michael and Anita. I don't know why it's appropriate, but I like the name. So they're Michael and Anita. And then soon after, Waverly popped out a baby, and she named it Marcello. I don't know why, I just really like the name Marcello. I've only heard it once, but I really like the name. So now we have it. That's kind of like a brief synopsis, kind of a match cinema style with auditory voiceover narration of their life. So I hope you all enjoyed the show. I love you all, my beautiful lovelies, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.